The PACT Foundation. I congratulate Dr. Ashwin Fernandes and the entire PACT team on this milestone. I'm delighted to see the launch of Radio Mandavi 88.4 FM, Goa's first community radio station. I also welcome Goa Future Ready, preparing our youth for the future education, career and opportunities. I sincerely congratulate the distinguished university, education leaders and the institution for attending and supporting these great initiatives. This initiative is aligned with the NEP 2020 and my vision of the skilled, future ready and Atmanirbhar and Swayambhur Goa. I encourage our students to dream big, discover their strength and keep learning. My best wishes for the success of both the initiatives and the lasting impacts across the Goa. Thank you, one and all.
That runs through my veins day and night is the same life which runs through the world. These were the words of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. And with those words, let me welcome on stage, first and foremost, our guests who have traveled all the way to support not me or PACT Foundation, but here to support the people, here to support the children and the youth of Goa. So again, with a round of applause, let us welcome Bhumi Pednekar, Imtiaz Ali, Rahul Bose, and our partner of our latest initiative, Satya Narayanan from Career Launcher. I would like this morning to welcome our donors, our supporters, our university friends, the teachers, media, press, as well as youth, young children, the youth of Goa. I would like to welcome you to this third Foundation Day. We started this idea in 2023, and since then, this has become a revolution. Last year, dear guests, I stood at this very podium and I used a phrase, and the phrase is अंधेरे को कोसने से बेहतर है एक दिया जलाना. And that is exactly what PACT Foundation did. It lit that lamp, and that's why at every ceremony we continue lighting that lamp to ensure that we can make the future bright for our young people. But lighting a lamp can light just a room. And today, I want to move beyond the lamp into a river that flows through every village of Goa. We are a small team at PACT, and we impact at the moment 5 talukas. That's in total in the last 3 years, we have touched the lives of over 20,000 students. Close to 41 schools. And that impact continues beyond our city schools into the rural Goa which your postcards don't show, which the glitzy hotels don't show. When I talk of the mission of PACT, people think, Goa mein to sab hai, right? But we want to develop our young people into visionaries for the future. At the heart, I'm a village boy, and I keep telling that. And even when I go on a global stage, when I meet different university presidents, I'm really happy. Besides the people of Goa today, we have our friends, those dear friends who have come a long way, as far as the Middle East, as far as the eastern side of India, from all the parts. I will not name all of you, but I'm really in debt for your presence here today. What I have done in these 3 years is something we want to continue doing for Goa. Somewhere on that journey, when I left Goa after graduation, a question began to trouble me. I visited some of the best universities, from a village boy to looking at how universities are transforming lives across the world, how investment is happening in higher education and education. When I came back a few years ago, I kept asking myself, how many of the children in Goa will never ever reach the starting line? And how many bright, brilliant minds who are sitting in our classrooms have the same spark I had when I was in school? I had the great opportunity to have some great teachers who seen that bright, brilliant kid in school and gave me that push, gave me the support to do something. From there on, I went into the Middle East, I went into Far East, I came back to India, and when I looked at our schools, and I know the government is doing a lot, but the private sector should also do more. We should give more opportunities, and that's why today we collaborate with the government of Goa and our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant. As much as he wanted to be here today, he had got called to New Delhi, but he has sent a representative from his office. So we have Shri Dhaval Jadhav, who's here as a representative of the Chief Minister, and he sent a message for all of you. So we'll play that later. So when I started PACT, the idea was that I refuse to accept that a child's future will be decided by the postal code where she or he comes from. And we wanted to change that with the various initiatives. In 2025-2026, PACT impacted over 3,000 students, worked across 21 schools, also took students to the global stage. We created global opportunities, and the real special thing what we did was we created the Goa Super 100. The Goa Super 100 was a plan we launched right here on the stage here to take 100 kids of Goa, those from the economically weaker sections, take them to higher education, take them to the best universities, and we succeeded. We didn't manage to take 100, but we at least seen a few go to higher education. I'm going to show you a message from one of the girls later as I finish my speech. Besides the work we do, I would like to tell you two quotes while we seen what's happening. One of the teachers in the remotest corners of Goa told us, for years we tried for smart boards. PACT ignited our hopes. A resource room we created, one of the special education teachers with tears of joy, of course, said that they now have a corner of their own. And that's the impact PACT has as a private initiative. And we wanted to take that further. And we wanted the river flow. So this year's message, besides Andheri ko koosne se behtar hai diya jalana, let that river flow. And with the significance of that river, all of you know we are on the coast with River Mandovi besides us. That's the significance of this venue, why we picked this venue this year. Because the launch of our community radio, Goa's first community radio. Goa is the only state in India which doesn't have a community radio. We are today launching Goa's first community radio to give our young people a voice. People said, radio is dead. But I told them, radio is intimate. Radio will bring everybody together. Radio doesn't need the internet. It is democratic. And by involving all of you here and beyond, here is a representation of our 20,000 kids. We want to create and co-curate programs with you all. We want to tell the girl in a village who doesn't have internet, that she can be a scientist. We want to give them the hope for the future. And the reason why we named it Radio Mandavi is because that river has to flow. The current has to be there. And Radio Mandavi will take that river and current to rural Goa, to the villages of Goa, and take the voice of education as the core, along with music, culture, into our rural Goa. We also launched a very impactful initiative. We just don't want to provide you a voice. We want to tell you what the future is. We want to create the future for you. We will launch Goa Future Ready. With our partners, Career Launcher and My Sati Foundation, we are going to provide testing to our young kids to tell them how they should prepare for the future of work, how they can compete with those kids in Bombay or Bengaluru or New Delhi. Give them the opportunity. And that's the initiative we're launching with Satya today. So I tell you, look at the future with us. Be with us. We are going to make Goa proud, and with your support, dear friends, we can do even more. I kept speaking of a river, and Gurudev Rabindra Tagore said that the stream flows to each and every one of us. Be it your child, or my child, or any child, they have to get an equal opportunity, and we want to provide that through PACT. I want to end with a Zulu proverb from Africa. And that proverb, exactly in Zulu, is Izanda Zia Lambana, which is one hand washes another. It may sound so trivial. And that means nobody should rise, or everybody should rise together and not alone. And that's what we want to provide today, the support and means to our rural Goa and the rural kids, what a city kid would also get. So this is my promise and my invitation. We will not stop here. We will make PACT a revolution. We will not stop until this river reaches every village of Goa. So come step into the river with us. The water is moving. Let us carry Goa's children all the way to the ocean. Let us do well. I would like to leave you with a short video message from one of our scholars who's studying at a university you'll hear about. And just let's see how much of joy a child got by pursuing her BA honors in law at a prominent institution. I will not break the surprise for you. I leave you with this. I wish you best. Devarekuru.
Good afternoon, everyone. I stand here very, very inspired today, and I'm so grateful, Dr. Ashwin, that you thought I could be a part of this incredible ceremony. I feel education is the future, is the foundation of every strong democracy, and I'm very happy to be here today. Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Pramod Sawantji, thank you so much for supporting this incredible organization. Dr. Ashwin Fernandes, Purva Kapoorji, Dr. Dhruv Galgotia, and everyone who's gathered over here today, everybody I'm sharing the stage with, the donors, the partners who make this work possible, the teachers, the headmistresses, who are the true heroes of this story, and above all, the children of Goa. Namaskar. Let me begin with a small confession. When people hear my name, they picture Mumbai, but my heart belongs here. My father is the son of this soil with his roots in Pernem. So I have not come to Goa today as a visitor or a guest. I have come home. And I think of no greater privilege than to be asked to give something back to this land that made my family, that made me who I am. I have spent much of my life on screen and off it. telling stories of women and girls who refused to accept the limits the world tried to place on them. In one of my earlier films, I played a young woman in a village who fought simply for a toilet. On paper, it sounds like nothing. In truth, it was everything. Because the fight was never about a toilet. It was about dignity, about a girl's right to feel safe, to stay in school when she becomes a teenager instead of dropping out, to be treated as an equal at home. And that is exactly why the work of PACT Foundation moves me so deeply, Dr. Ashwin. Because when Dr. Ashwin and his team walk into a school and build a clean washroom, a bright classroom, a library, a playground with swings that actually work, they're not merely pouring cement or fixing roofs. They are handing a child their dignity. More than 40 schools across Goa, thousands of children who now walk each morning into places that are cleaner, kinder, and full of possibility. That, my friends, is not charity. That is justice served one classroom at a time. I want to pause and speak directly to all the girls and women in this hall. I know that some of you have been told, sometimes gently, sometimes maybe not gently, that your dream should be a little smaller, that certain doors are simply not meant for women and girls like you. I have come here all the way from Mumbai to tell you to your face that is not true. I have played a queen, a fighter, a record-breaking sharpshooter on screen, but the bravest women I have ever known are not my characters in my films. They are women like you, who wake before dawn, who walk long distances, and who still choose every single day to learn, to thrive, to succeed. Your education is not a favor that anyone is doing for you. It's your right. And it is the one treasure that no person, no circumstance, and no hard year can ever take away from you. There is another cause that has shaped my life for several years now. An initiative I founded called Climate Warrior. And in my work as the United Nations Development Programme's National Advocate for the Sustainable Development Goals, I have tried to lend my voice to our planet, to our rivers, to our future. And that work has taught me one lesson above all others. The great challenges of our age, the changing climate, the health of our environment, the equality of our girls will not be solved from a television studio in a big city. They will be solved here. In villages, in panchayats, in communities of people who are informed, awake, and talking honestly to one another. Which brings me to the beautiful thing we launched this morning. Radio Mandovi 88.4 FM, Goa's very first community radio station. Think for a moment what that truly means. A human voice carried on open air into homes that a newspaper may never reach, that the internet may never reach, a farmer learning when the rains will come, a mother learning how to keep her child healthy, a young girl in a remote village hearing, perhaps for the first time in her life, that somebody out there believes that she can become a doctor, an engineer, a scientist, a leader. As Dr. Ashwin said, radio is not old-fashioned. Radio is intimate. It is democratic. It reaches everyone, rich or poor, near or far, and in their own language at their own doorstep. Goa today, you are given your own voice. Please use it well and use it for good. And we do not even stop there today. Today, alongside Career Launcher, PACT launches Goa Future Ready. Now, what does that actually mean for a child? It means we finally accept that it is not enough for a student simply to pass an examination and then left guessing. Our children deserve to know what comes next. Which path suits their particular gift? Which career might one day set their hearts on fire? Goa Future Ready will give thousands of Goan students the very thing that wealthy families quietly pay for and everyone else has always gone without: real assessment of their strengths, career counseling, and honest guidance towards higher education and work. It closes a gap that has quietly held back brilliant children, and it will reach them at no cost to a single family in beneficiary schools. So look, truly look, at what this one morning contains: dignity through the happy schools, a voice through Radio Mandovi, a future through Goa Future Ready. Homes, hearts, and horizons all in a single day. This is what it looks like when a group of determined people decide once and for all that a child in a Goan village deserves precisely what a child in the world's greatest cities deserve. I will end here where I began. A home. Goa gave my family its name, its values, its spine, its courage, its platform. And standing here today, watching Dr. Ashwin and everyone at PACT build something so special on this soil, I do not think I have ever been prouder of where I come from. I am a proud Goan and I stand here and my heart is full. So to the children listening this morning, dream without waiting for anyone's permission. To the teachers, thank you for holding the line year after year. And to every single person who makes this movement possible, let us keep walking together until there is not a single child left behind in Goa who does think that they don't have an opportunity to dream. Thank you so much.
It's always better in Goa. And today it's even better because of the inspiring work that Ashwin has done and is hoping to do and is going to end up doing, I suspect, more than he has promised, more than he himself believes. Congratulations already, Ashwin. You and PACT Foundation have already delivered a hit. Also very happy to meet Satya today. And I feel that people like you, Satya, and Ashwin are really doing what is most necessary for any nation to become great and greater. Also very inspired by the words of Rahul and Bhumi, and very proud to be among filmmakers that are not only making films but also making life. But more than anything else, happy to be with those children that have paid so much attention to all these speeches that I'm sure that if I ask them some questions, they will be able to answer because they have been paying such good attention, right? It's a great day in Goa, and very soon all the speeches will be over, you can go home. But the first time I came to Goa, none of you were born, children. Can you raise hands how many people were born in '93? Yeah, none of you. When I came to Goa for the first time, like all other Indian people who were not from Goa, I thought that Goa is a city and not a state or not a big place. I thought it's a small place, and then I hired a bike and I was coming from Delhi University and some of my friends were there. We had done a play, we had made some money and we had come with that money to Goa. So the first earning that I had come to Goa with. That's the craze of Goa, you know. And I just met Bhumi outside and I said that any reason to be here, right? Any reason to be in Goa. So anyway, I was here, I was on a motorbike, I was going to all kinds of places, and when I was doing all that, my father had no idea that I'm here because I was supposed to be studying in Delhi. And that same father became a very important person for me when I had to tell him that I don't want to do UPSC, I don't want to be an IAS officer. Initially, some years back, I had already told him that I don't want to be an engineer. And the tragedy of all this was that I was a good student. I had to tell him that I want to write, I want to do theatre, I want to do drama. And I told him that. And I could see that a person, like, this is the 90s, somebody whose son tells that I'm going to do theatre, and dad, you know, the world is opening up, maybe I'll do something else in media, so on and so forth, and he feels that, oh, what's he going to do? At that point of time, my dad said, okay, son, you do whatever you want to do, but do it very well. You know, do it in the best way possible. You choose the line of your choice, but do the best in it. And I don't know how, magically, I became a film director over years. And today I'm standing over here and talking to all of you young kids, only to say that the potential exists in everybody, in each one of you. As Osho says, you're already the Buddha. Every energy, every feature or talent that exists in this world in anybody also exists in you. All that is sometimes required is guidance. What the PACT Foundation and what Ashwin is doing is to provide that guidance, which at that point of time, my father had provided me. To say that, okay, go ahead, I'm standing behind you, but be the best. And you know, he gave me some advice that I till date follow. What you are doing, Ashwin, is exactly the same thing. Not to one person, but to thousands and thousands of children. And that is really unique. And I feel that people that can do that have the blessing of God. All the best in that venture. And I also feel that the two things that you mentioned is water and education. In what I've realized in my life is that in any community, if you provide these two things, the rest they find for themselves. And you have mentioned water with River Mandovi, you've mentioned a community radio. And radio, of course, is the most sustaining media of all times. It is a media that sets you free. It's a medium that actually provides you imagination, because in any corner of the world you listen to a song, you listen to some announcement, you can continue to do your work, you can use your imagination. You're not a slave to it, it's always your friend. And for time immemorial, we have had songs like, what is that one? Video killed the radio star. And you know, when video had come, we thought cinema will die and radio will die. But the fact of the matter is, there is so many things that still came. The digital revolution happened, the internet revolution happened, and radio became bigger and bigger and bigger and more personal and more accessible. And today, having community radio is not just having a radio channel. At a time when people are getting more and more secluded and isolated and getting into a certain bubble of digital interactivity, to have a concept of community and have it through radio is really a very remarkable and a very, a step with a vision forward. And to make real progress in the world, a community is always going to be required. And Radio Mandovi 88.4 does that. And coming together with education, it will take Goa forward towards a development which is more structured, towards a future that will encompass all the growth activities that are happening anywhere in the world. So that people like me and Bhumi and Rahul and all of us will be equally happy to come here. Not only because it's a beautiful place, not only because the people are so nice, but also because it is the most progressive place with perhaps the best university in the world. So I'd like to congratulate all of you. I'd like to congratulate Goa for having a person and an initiative like PACT, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Ashwin, Satya, Bhumi, Imtiaz, congratulations Ashwin on all the new initiatives. I inhabit three worlds. One is the world of cinema as an actor and a director. The other is as a former international rugby player for India for 11 years and now the president of the Rugby Federation for the last 5. And the founder of 2 NGOs, one dedicated to the removal of child sexual abuse for the last 14 years, and the other one, education of children from the Andamans, Kashmir, Manipur for the last 20 years. So what please, don't embarrass me, for God's sake. That's not why I said all this. I said all this because I just want to tell you what education means to me in these 3 worlds that I inhabit, which have nothing to do with books. Rugby used to be played by 300 players in the whole of India till the early 2000s in 2 schools and 6 clubs. I mean, it was not even, it's just about being stillborn. The existential crisis that the sport faced was that nobody in upper and upper middle class India wanted their kids to break their faces for free. And I've broken my nose 4 times. It didn't make a difference to my face, but you get my point. So it was almost going to die, and I was playing for India at the time. What's his name? Marcus Hensford, the Tag Rugby Trust, goes to the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, this blindingly amazing, largest tribal school in the world, where children from grade 1 to grade 12 are fed, housed, clothed, educated for free, 30,000 of them. So their breakfast is in a football field, 3 times over. Dr. Achut Samanta sitting right here, the amazing, warm, compassionate, lovely founder of KISS and of course KIIT too, the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology. So here's the story. Marcus Hensford from the Tag Rugby Trust in 2006 goes to KISS and is promoting education through sport, and one day he takes, being a fan of rugby, he takes the rugby ball out of his bag, gives it to the kids take the ball and they run off. And they come back panting after an hour and they say, "Sir, इस ball में कुछ खराबी है क्योंकि ये गोल नहीं हो रहा है. हमने बहुत इसमें हवा पंप किया है लेकिन ये बॉल गोल नहीं हो रहा है, ये डिफेक्टिव बॉल है." And cut to a year later in 2007 at the informal World School Rugby Games, where there were schools from 11 countries playing, including South Africa, which for those who don't know, and most of you won't, is one of the leading rugby playing countries in the world, and these tribal kids win. And that is when the Indian Rugby Football Union, the formal name for Rugby India, the National Sports Federation, says, are we onto a good thing? Could the sport be revived and thrive through rural and tribal India. And today, after that day, at KISS, out of 770 districts approximately in this country, 2 million people per district, today rugby is played in 322 districts with a catchment area of 645 million people. Our women are sixth in Asia. To put that into perspective, if our women reach the top 2 in Asia, they will make the Olympics, and we will be only the second team in 80 years from India to send a team to the Olympics, hockey being the only other team. For me, that's what education does. I made a film, and it's the story of the youngest girl in history to climb Mount Everest. Does anyone know how old she was? 13. That age has been banned. After that, you can't climb Everest. You have to be over 16 now. So I make this film called Purna. It's a biopic. Of course, the real Purna is very much alive. Unlike most biopics, she's only 20 years old. And the story is, I went to her house, she used to tend her goats. And she got into a tribal school under the TSWREIS scheme in Telangana Social Welfare Residential Education Institutions scheme. And while she was studying there, a visionary social secretary, tribal secretary, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar, started hobbies. किसी को रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करना सीखना, किसी को कंप्यूटर्स करना, किसी को डांसिंग करना, किसी को एक्टिंग सीखना, और उसमें there was rock climbing. Because Hyderabad is flat as my palm, but there is one rock called Bhunge, which is 600 feet. For perspective, double the height of the Oberoi Towers on Marine Drive. It's 600 feet, and that's where you rock climb. So she went. And this is that story of how this girl was tending her goats in Pakala in Telangana, and exactly 9 months later, she climbs Everest. It's not that she learns mountaineering in these 9 months. She does everything, and in 9 months, she's on the summit of Everest and forever in history. I showed the film to the whole village when we did it. And of course, everybody was in tears. Purna is studying for the UPSC right now. For me, that's what education is. And finally, I was in the Andaman Nicobar Islands when the tsunami hit in 2004. Does anybody remember the date? It was December 26, Boxing Day. And long story short, I started my non-profit organization looking at equalizing development through underdeveloped parts of India. And the first place I thought I would select kids from would be the Andamans, because I made 30 trips to the Andamans in 30 months, representing 20 NGOs called the Solidarity Network. And I was in Car Nicobar, for the second commemorative anniversary of the tsunami, and I was sitting there in Karnik. I think they lost half the island in terms of population. And one of the tribal captains, so they're not called sarpanches in the Andamans because it's been proselytized, and they call themselves captains, fell to his knees on his island a few months prior to that, recounting what had happened in Trinket, this island in Nankauri, to me. He lost everybody. I think 3 people survived. So I'm sitting in Karnik at this commemoration of the second anniversary of the tragedy, and there is, a Muslim, I don't know, Imam, Mullah, I don't know what the right word is. He's reciting prayers in commemoration. A Hindu priest recites prayers in commemoration. But when the Christian pastor begins to speak, for the first time I notice, because it's Church of North India and Nicobar is overwhelmingly Christian, I noticed that there is a give and take with the audience. And I hear this one sound I'll never forget in my life. It was the sound, this was the sound. What is that sound? It's not the sea. And I looked up and I saw 5,000 people crying silently. All of them crying into their handkerchiefs. And that was the sound I was hearing of the collective catharsis of these people. And I thought to myself, this is where I'm going to start my non-profit from. And one of the kids we selected from it's 576 islands. 37 are, only 37 are populated with people in the archipelago, but it doesn't necessarily follow that you choose one of the 6 kids from Nicobar. It could be from any of the 37 islands. But we did. It finally so happened that we selected a girl from Karnak. And my God, today she's 30 years old. she's amazing. She's came out of Srishti School of Design. And just like she's going to be the first person to come up with indigenous, phenomenal, world-class products from Nicobar. And for me, that's what education is about. So when we use words like creating livelihoods and for a better future, it means nothing to me. What it means to me is this. It's those kids trying to make an oval ball round and creating today 140,000 rugby players on the cusp of Olympic ambition. It's for me, when you make a movie and you don't about something that comes out of your head, but when you see something in real life which is more incredible than fiction and you put it out there, and today that girl 7 years later or 10 years later is going to be one of the leaders in the civil service hopefully in the future. And for me it is, you take the collective grief of a stricken land, and from there will emerge the first tribal kid who will be producing world-class stuff. And everything that Ashwin's river will do will hopefully lead to it. Thank you.
And even it's good to even meet Rahul. We have a wonderful collection of people who are celebrities but who are extremely socially deeply conscious. And I'm so glad that you could merge both the community radio and the education, Ashwin. Congratulations. Rahul always makes time. Met him 15-20 years ago, again in a school children meet. And he may not remember, but he must do the glass mein kitna pani dala hai example. That's his favorite. He will do that today if he gets time. Ashwin is not just a small boy. Ashwin, I'll take my quota of 5 minutes, okay? And I'll give 1.5 minutes to you. Not just a small village boy, but also as someone that I've seen build his life brick by brick. I don't think anything has come easy for him. And while doing that tremendous amount of work, continuously worrying about giving back in a meaningful way and then making it a virtuous cycle, it's an exceptionally good attribute to have for a young leader like him. I think all of us must give him one round of applause. Your team is not small, Ashwin. Every city in which Career Launcher is, My Sathi Foundation is, 400 cities in India, half a dozen countries, all our team. Please consider them yourself as your own, and we'll be available for you to do anything. I saw the girl going to BML Munjal University. In such initiatives, we'll be very happy to support PACT Foundation, and Sujata and you work very closely. We will deepen that. Just for the sake of announcing to this entire August gathering, what we are beginning to do in Goa is start with about 40 schools and maybe about 10,000 children. Can we catch them in the grades 8, 9, 10 onwards, help assess their talent, help them build a roadmap. Somebody wants to become an actress like you, that should not look like a very risky choice. So how do we let people, youngsters become a soccer player with education happening in parallel, a film career with education in parallel? So we're not looking at a very stereotypical one engineering, medical kind of an education. We're saying anything where talent takes, we will support PACT Foundation. We'll start with 10,000 students here, but hopefully by the time we come here next year, we would have loved to create a very powerful example, and there is no other district in India other than Ghaziabad where there is a very exciting pilot that's happening, and we intend to bring that to Goa, which is how do you build educational services as a digital public infrastructure, just like your Aadhaar is or your UPI is. We are doing that experiment in a couple of districts. We want to pick that up once we get the action going in 40 schools, 10,000 children, which means a year from now, we don't have to go from 40 to 100. We can go from 40 to all the schools, all the colleges, all the job-seeking youth, and the job-giving companies. They all could be talking to each other in a democratized environment, and such a thing is possible in Goa. And there's one country that always comes to my mind when I think of Goa because of its small size, which is Estonia. Estonia, you know, when USSR collapsed and the way Estonia took off vertically to become a developed country in a decade, Goa can do that. And with people like you, sir, being here and you have a say in the right offices, I think we would love to make that happen for Goa. And not just me, there are a bunch of Ashwin's friends who have traveled from across the country. It's nobody says no to Goa. It's such a romantic place. Yeah? I'll end it by making one observation, which is there is a discussion this afternoon called "Why don't we have the world's #1 university in Goa?" Yeah. I think that's a great, exciting conversation to have. The only thing, and I think Ashwin can put it together, all of us will lend our shoulders to you, Ashwin. 30 most exciting people, they must own this vision, then it can happen in the next 30 years. Reaching there. And you are yourself known in those university circles. एक नई सुबह का आगाज शायद यहीं से हो, रुखसते लैल और रोशन जहां शायद यहीं से हो, दराज से खूने जिगर जिस चमन में सींच रहे थे, उस चमन में आमदे बहार शायद यहीं से हो. You know, every day is a new dawn. Maybe this small gathering is actually the beginning of a very new, exciting dawn, where new technologies and imagination of skilled, imaginative people is the only mantra that you need. You don't need money. And Ashwin has enough of that, and you have all our support, Ashwin. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am thankful to PACT Foundation who has given scholarship to my daughter Satvija Naik, and I am also thankful to Ashwin Fernandes, co-founder, and our Mrs. Amelia Fernandes, co-founder, who has given scholarship to my daughter to pursue her education. She wanted to become a lawyer, but she could not. She was not in a position to continue because of the harsh efforts of high education fees. She cannot provide high fees. So at that time, PACT Foundation gave her scholarship to pursue her BA LLB, and now she is. I also thankful to headmistress of Sri Somnath English High School, Srimati Prajwala Bakle, who gave her support her to pursue her education. through PACT Foundation. So my daughter is now in Haryana. She is doing her well, and she is also fine. I am also thankful to. Really, PACT Foundation is doing a great job, and I am also God bless them, and I am thankful to Mr. Ashwin Fernandes and Ms. Amelia Fernandes. God bless you.
तुम्ही पळयतात गोंयकारपण, गोंयकारांचो गोंयकारा खातीर.